Hello, I'm Lugatorix, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be discussing a topic which is very close to my heart. It is in fact from my favourite movie of all time, Pulp Fiction, which you probably guessed from the title. Now in the film Pulp Fiction, in one of the last scenes, you probably know which one, Winston Wolf shows a great example of leadership qualities which I think is very useful in real life. Now I've been on YouTube a lot recently looking at videos, and I watch a lot of Pulp Fiction clips because I'm obsessed with that film. And I'm not throwing hate at anyone, I'm just saying that I see a lot of videos entitled something along the lines of Winston Wolf, great leadership, but I don't actually see any analysis of it. And so I just want to briefly discuss what makes the Wolf such a great leader and show some clips in the film as well, because who doesn't like watching Pulp Fiction clips? So just in case you haven't seen the film, I'm going to give a tiny bit of context. Basically, you have three men in a car. One of the men accidentally shoots the other one in the face. The one that gets shot in the face is Marvin, and Vincent shoots Marvin in the face accidentally. And they basically need to get the car off the road quickly because there's blood everywhere. There's a dead body in the back. And Vincent and Jules end up going to a place owned by someone called Jimmy, who's a friend of Jules. Now Jimmy naturally isn't very happy that he has got I won't use the exact words that he used, but he's got a dead person in the back of his car. He's not very happy about that, and his wife, or girlfriend I think actually, Bonnie, is going to be back in an hour and a half, and they need to clean the car, get rid of the car and the body before she comes back, because she is going to go mental if that happens. It is not worth Jimmy's or anyone else's life for that matter. So they do the only thing that would solve the situation, and they call in a man called the Wolf, and he is, in my opinion, the greatest leadership example I've seen in the film in a while, for sure. He really is a great leader, so that's what I'm going to be discussing today. Just thought I'd give you a bit of a context. It's a seemingly insurmountable situation, it's very improbable, but the Wolf managed to get it sorted out, and that saves basically Jules and Vincent, and Jimmy for that matter. So what makes the Wolf such a great leader? Well, the first thing that you know about him is he's got a reputation, and that's a positive reputation. A reputation for solving problems and getting things done. Here is a little bit of evidence of that.
You ain't got no problem, Jules. I'm on the motherfucker. Go back in there and chill them niggas out, and wait for the Wolf, who should be coming directly.
You sending the Wolf?
Oh, you feel better, motherfucker?
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
So as you can clearly see from that clip, given the conversation between Jules and Marcellus Wallace, you can see that the Wolf has a lot of reputation, good reputation. With that, he is known for getting problems solved. Now this is a very important thing, particularly for Jules, because you can see instantly that he has a great amount of respect for the Wolf, and he is going to do whatever he's told because he knows he is the most likely to get the situation sorted. Now another example of the evidence of the importance of reputation is the different reactions from Jules and Vincent. So Vincent doesn't particularly know of the Wolf's reputation, he only knows what he's heard on the phone, and you can see that he has a lot less respect for the Wolf, which you'll see in a later clip, which I'll focus on in a minute. Now, it must be said that Vincent doesn't really have a lot of respect for a lot of people. You know, for example, Butch he doesn't have any respect for, but at least that's founded on some sort of evidence. Vincent, like many people, treats others based on their reputation, the preconceived notion of what kind of a person they are. You saw that earlier with Butch. I can put that clip in now.
A pack of red apples.
Filters?
None. You looking at something, friend?
You ain't my friend, Pluka.
What was that?
I think you heard me just fine, Punchy.
So Vincent has heard rumours or facts really about Butch before, and he makes negative comments based on those facts. And it's also evident that he does not treat the Wolf with the same amount of respect as Jules does, because he has that lack of respect based on the fact that he doesn't know his reputation as well. So the lesson here really is, reputation is a very, very important part of leadership, because you can command respect immediately based on the fact that you're known as a reliable authority figure. Now, almost as important as reputation, and something that kind of links towards it, is first impressions. And in my opinion, the Wolf makes a brilliant first impression. Now this is because he immediately commands respect through a couple of measures that he takes. Firstly, he is very polite. He rings on the doorbell, he shakes Jimmy's hand, he greets him nicely, and he even compliments his coffee, which I'll show you here.
You're Jimmy, right? This is your house?
Sure is.
I'm Winston Wolf. I solve problems.
Good, we got one.
So I heard. May I come in?
Yeah, please do. Here you go, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you, Jimmy.
So you can see that the Wolf is someone who can be at least reasoned with. He's not cold and stern and unrelatable. He is actually quite an alright person. He's someone who you can trust because he's nice and polite and he's nice and calm. Now, another first impression that you get about the Wolf is he's very decisive. He doesn't wait around and likes to have a nice old chit chat. He gets to business straight away. And the first thing he does is asks a series of questions from Jimmy and particularly Jules and Jimmy, not really as much Vincent, but he asks a lot of questions of the three men so that he gets to know the situation as well as he can, first of all. Now this is important as a leader. First of all, he engages the group in the discussion or whatever, but also you need to have all the facts before you can start barking orders. And the Wolf does not go into this blindly. He doesn't start barking orders without knowing what's going on. He knows every detail, and that means that he can accordingly set out commands which will work effectively.
Must be Jules, which would make you Vincent. Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
100%.
Your wife, Bonnie, comes home at 9:30 in the a.m. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
I was led to believe if she comes home and finds us here, she wouldn't appreciate none too much.
You wanted that.
All right, that gives us 40 minutes to get the fuck out of Dodge. Which, if you do what I say, when I say it, should be plenty. About the car, is there anything I need to know? Does it stall? Does it smoke? Does it make a lot of noise? Is there gas in it? Anything?
Aside from how it looks, the car's cool.
Positive. Don't get me out there on the road and find out the brake lights don't work.
Hey, man, as far as I know, the motherfucker's tip-top.
Now, Jimmy, this looks to be a pretty domesticated house. That would lead me to believe that in the garage, you're under the sink, you got a bunch of cleaners and cleansers and shit like that?
Yeah, Mr. Wolf, under the sink.
Good.
So let's look at said commands. Well, they are decisive, concise, clear, but also very detailed. And I'll show you this here.
I need you two fellas to do is take those cleaning products and clean the inside of the car. I'm talking fast, fast, fast. You need to go in the back seat, scoop up all those little pieces of brain and skull. Get it out of there. Wipe down the upholstery. Now, when it comes to upholstery, it don't need to be spick and span. You don't need to eat off it. Just give it a good once-over. What you need to take care of are the really messy parts. The pools of blood that I've collected, you gotta soak that shit up. Now, Jimmy, we need to raid your linen closet. I need blankets, I need comforters, I need quilts, I need bedspreads. The thicker the better, the darker the better. No whites. Can't use them. We need to camouflage the interior of the car. We're gonna line the front seat and the back seat and the floorboards with quilts and blankets. So if a cop stops us and starts sticking his big snout in the car, the subterfuge won't last. But at a glance, the car will appear to be normal. Jimmy, lead the way.
Now this is very important. It's a great skill that he doesn't waffle on. He says quite a lot, but it's actually very detailed, which means that Jules and Vincent and Jimmy know exactly what they have to do. They know exactly where they stand, and they know that if they want to get everything done in the only way possible, they have their own set tasks and they've got to do them if they want to succeed. But he is actually very concise with them, considering the amount of detail and information he gives, about the upholstery and etc. He is actually very concise, puts it down to about a minute of just him talking. So this means that Jules, Jimmy and Vincent know exactly what's going on, but also they aren't wasting time, and also the Wolf is known as decisive, so he knows what he's talking about. Jules and Jimmy and Vincent, they have respect, but they also have confidence in their man, because he knows what he's talking about, evidently. The detail and the decisiveness of what he's saying is so important in this role. And this is important in the real world as well. Time is a factor, which is something that the Wolf says incidentally, and that's very, very true. You need to be concise, but you also need to be decisive. Too much dithering and you've got a problem, you're never going to get decisions made. But also, considering the facts, knowing all the information first and doing your research, which is the first thing that the Wolf does, constantly asking questions. The balance of the two is very, very important to come to a substantiated judgment and to really come to a conclusion where you know exactly what you're going to do and you're going to do it efficiently. And this leads me on to how the Wolf actually issues commands. He is assertive, he lays down his dominance and he makes it very clear what's going on and that he is the boss. But he also isn't rude either. He is telling people what to do, but he isn't saying it in a particularly brash or rude way in my opinion. Now, Vincent seemingly does think that he's rude because he doesn't say please, which we'll have a look at now.
Boys, get to work.
Please would be nice.
Come again?
I said a please would be nice.
Get it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do. And if self-preservation is an instinct you possess, you better fucking do it and do it quick. I'm here to help. If my help's not appreciated, lots of luck, gentlemen.
No, Mr. Wolf. It ain't like that. Your help is definitely appreciated.
Mr. Wolf, listen, I don't mean disrespect, okay? I respect you. I just don't like people barking orders at me, that's all.
If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast, and I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this. So, pretty please, with sugar on top, clean the fucking car.
So this is the first sign of confrontation. It's an inevitability in the workplace or in a group. There's going to be some friction unless you're all best of friends. And even then, if you're best of friends, there's even more likely to be friction in my experience. But how does the wolf deal with this? There's several ways you can deal with this as a leader. But in my opinion, he deals with this in the optimal way possible. So as you saw there, he was calm but also assertive. He made it very clear that Vincent is to do as he's told, but he also didn't swing for him. He didn't get violent or aggressive, and that means the situation didn't escalate, but also Vincent was put in his place nice and effectively as well, but also the morale of everyone wasn't reduced at all. Now, this is important as well. As I said, frictions are an inevitability, so the fact that you can stay calm, and it's not easy to stay calm, especially when there's multiple people with strong opinions, the fact that you can stay calm and also show your effectiveness as a dominant leader, that's very, very good in the workplace. It gets things done. And Vincent gets out to the car and starts scrubbing it. Now, admittedly, Jules is the one doing the majority of the work, so you could argue this didn't work particularly well. But also, there's sort of a second confrontation later on, which you'll see in a second. I mention it in a second. But Vincent doesn't particularly want to change out of his bloodied clothes, which is stupid anyway. But after more stern but effectively calm words from the wolf, Vincent does what he's told again, and he changes into Jimmy's ugly clothes. I think it's UC Santa Cruz Slugs or something like that. He's wearing a t-shirt he doesn't want to wear, but the wolf has got him to do it because that's what's effective and that's what's good for the team. And this leads nice and effectively onto the final point. Slightly polarising, you could argue, but I actually quite like this. From the beginning, you realise the wolf is quite a stern figure. He gets things done, decisive, blah, blah, blah. He is not around to mess around, but he can have a bit of humour, which is very important. It alleviates stress, for example. So let's have a look at the example of humour in the workplace here.
Strip.
All the way?
To your bare ass. Quickly, gentlemen. We've got about 15 minutes before Jimmy's better half comes pulling into the driveway.
Damn, this morning ass some chilly shit.
Are you sure this is absolutely necessary?
You know what you two look like?
What?
Like a couple of guys who just blew off somebody's head. Stripping off those bloody rags is absolutely necessary. They're dry enough. Toss them their clothes. Perfect. Perfect. We couldn't have planned this better. You guys look like... What do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
Ha ha ha. Your clothes, motherfucker.
So he's able to have a laugh and a joke, even in a high-pressure situation. This is literally a matter of life and death. It's a matter of justice. It's a matter of Bonnie not coming back and going apoplectic because there's a dead body in the back of her car. Yet, the wolf and Jimmy, but particularly the wolf, manages to have a good sense of humour over the matter, which is very, very important, I believe. So that's it, really. I just thought I'd give a quick sort of analysis about Winston Wolf. Literally, Pulp Fiction is my favourite film of all time. I know every scene like the back of my hand, and I love talking about it all day. Hopefully this video isn't too long, because literally I could talk about it all day, but I won't. This is an example of real effective leadership, which is something which really isn't that evident overall in a lot of situations in my experience. I think if more people can be like the wolf, calm yet effective and assertive and decisive, yet detailed in his knowledge because he's thought hard about it, well, that is something that is quite extraordinary. Really unattainable for normal people, because most people aren't like that. Most people have human emotions which make them devoid of maybe the logical, rational sense of the wolf. But there we go. They get the situation done. The wolf really is a great leader because he makes a seemingly insurmountable situation into a pretty calm one, all things considered. They even get it done with a bit of time to spare for coffee and having jokes at the end. So that's basically it. Just, I don't know, I thought I wanted to do a little bit different video today. I felt like it. I like watching Pulp Fiction. I like talking about it. So if you want me to do this kind of video every now and then, yeah, that's cool. I've got plenty of ideas. For example, you could compare the Wolf's leadership to Marcellus Wallace's leadership. Marcellus Wallace is an authority figure for pretty much every character in the film. So that would be very interesting to have a look at another time as well. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll be making more videos very, very soon. I'll see you around.